T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle, Adam Poston, Jay Alvarez, and me, Andrea Joy.
All right, welcome to another episode of The Twisted 10.
All right.
Yeah, why don't you take over that? Take over the oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, not you.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
That's just a guy thing. Welcome to the show. I am Adam. I'm a regular host of Twisted 10, but tonight I am not your host. Sitting across the room.
That's right, Adam. I am also a regular host, but not the host tonight. Over there on the Lady Chase.
Hi, I'm Jay. I am not the host tonight.
No, Jay's not here.
Yeah, Jay's out.
This is Andrea Joy. I'm not your host tonight.
We don't have anybody up on Skype either.
And Jay's not here.
We have a bald guy sitting in the house right now.
Oh, and he's adorable.
But I will tell you,
trying to make him uncomfortable.
I will tell you, he came bearing gifts. If you can hear this, that's my little. That sounded bad.
That's gross.
That sounded like yeah, that sounded really bad. That is my my Scotch drinking glass, and this gentleman brought in a Monarch of the Glen blended Scotch whiskey for the studio.
It's a $12 bottle of Scotch.
Well, it's a gift. Look, you could have brought in a single beer, and that's still a gift. So we greatly appreciate. We reciprocate that love when we go back out.
Who would bring Scotch to a show, and also who brings good conversation to a show? You know what I'm saying?
That was a dad joke. Jay would be so proud of that.
I know.
But no, sitting in studio with us tonight is none other than the nominee for the best podcast of Orlando.
Whoa, what?
Yes. Voting is happening
What?
right now. So go to bestoforlando.com and go through a vote for this gentleman. It is Peter Von Taborsky. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you nailed it, dude.
Sweet.
Yeah,
With
That's
Scotch.
fun to say.
It is fun to say. With Scotch and good conversation. So welcome, Peter.
right.
Thank you for
Welcome.
having me. You
Definitely.
guys, I listened to your show, and I like what you're doing here. This is beautiful. There's so much room between us. Like I am so used, like literally, when in the teeny little Scotch and good conversation. We don't say studio, we say spare room because that's what it is. Literally, if I put my foot out, I can touch the foot of the guest.
other person?
So you play footsie.
That's how you make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, we also are not wearing any pants, but and also my dog's like right in the middle chewing a bone. You guys, you
gross. How you taught him how to do that?
You have room for the dogs like to spread out, and it's nice. Thank you for having me. This is
Absolutely.
this is fun. I've been looking forward to this and terrified.
Well, terrified. It's
Terrified. Why?
Everybody comes in. Rocky even said that last week. He came in. He's like, I was really nervous. I'm like, dude, I know you. You're going to do just fine. And I feel it's weird. Listening to other podcasts, it's weird because I know your personality through your podcast. I know you do
It's a
just fine
sham.
here.
It's just such bullshit.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
It's all smoke and mirrors. Is that what you're saying?
You know we all have our own little podcast, like how we're trying to make the world see
Sure.
us.
Yeah.
Sure. I am.
Well, Rocky thought I was Chinese.
Oh, yeah. I thought
Rocky's
yeah.
insane.
I'm actually an ex-Playboy model, really long, gorgeous blonde hair.
Me too. Yeah.
Triple D boobs, 24-inch waist.
No, I listened to Rocky and Bill's episode last week, and it was great. And they
Nice.
were nominated also.
Yeah, that's right. So there
Yeah,
were
yeah.
several. So
Yeah.
Burn It Down got nominated.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the Fuss podcast got
Sure.
nominated. Scotch and Good Conversation is in there. Obviously, A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan
Of
is
course,
listed.
they will win.
Which is going to be the winner. It's
Yeah,
just, as Jason from, or J-Flo from Burn It Down says, it's a chase for second place.
Uh-huh.
That's what everybody's doing. I don't remember all the others. There's a ton of good shows in there. A few I've never heard of.
BYOCB's in there.
Oh, no, I think is in there too, aren't they?
No, I think they
were in that
were
one?
they get bent out of shape a little. I love me some Owen and the boys.
Owen's scheduled
He's
for a few, I think it's a month out when he's coming over.
I've
but
been
he's
on
coming
his
over.
show. Owen and I have a strange relationship. He's the twin brother from a different mother to me.
Nice.
Yeah. Ask Owen about our relationship.
All right.
I love Owen. I'll say out loud. We were on Burn It Down together. I sat
Yes.
on the couch. I think at one point he had put his head in my lap.
Nice.
We got the coolest community of podcasters here, and it's cool because I mean, of course, there's a little bit of healthy kind of. I'm
Sure,
a little better than
competition.
you, and you're a
Yeah,
little better. But Owen, for instance, we've bumped heads, we've hugged each other, we've loved each other.
That's right. I heard an episode that you sat on where you guys.
I think I said "fuck you" 17 times on that podcast, but I also said I love you like 12 times.
Balanced.
That being said, I had a problem with my podcast because I just got done telling before we turned the mics on. I have no idea what I'm doing 98% of the time. And I sent him a message because I don't mean to brag, but I got Owen's number in my phone.
Ooh,
sure, I'm like a
check you
rock
out.
star. And he was like, give me a second, message me. And within 5 minutes, he had fixed it.
Oh, nice.
And that's the community, the podcast mafia. I mean, if you go in, that's not a bad
Podcast
thing.
Mafia.
Okay. Yeah.
Peter, you're going to understand all night. Tach loves that bell. So
Well, the podcast mafia. Okay. If you go on that Facebook group and literally, if you were to throw a dart in that Facebook group, you can't not hit a good podcast.
yeah, there's a lot of good ones. We joined the podcast mafia. I don't know, not too terribly long ago. I've brought a few of our friends' shows from Brevard in there.
Yeah,
as
I've
well.
noticed people popping up.
Yeah, a couple
great.
of good folks. That is a really cool place, especially for anybody listening. If you are a podcaster, then get in it, especially if you're a Central Florida podcaster. However, if you're a listener and you just like a good place to go find new podcasts to listen to and you like local flavor, go check out the Podcast Mafia. It's a group on Facebook. I don't know if it's closed to search the podcasts. There's a document on there. You can see all the different shows that are part of that Podcast Mafia, but it's an awesome group. A lot of good shows.
It's a great source for finding interesting podcasts, and anything you want is up there. There's wrestling, there's sports, there's knucklehead guys drinking in rooms. It's
Yes.
it's just a hodgepodge of great podcasting, and I love the community. I love how DIY it is. I love everybody's got a symbiotic relationship with each other, but it's healthy. We have competition with each other. I mean, I'm better than every other podcast in that. No. I'm honestly, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. It surprises me. It works most of the time. So, long story short, thank me for coming in. Thank you for having me in your lovely, beautiful place here. Thank you.
Certainly, we are very happy to have you come guest in our house, and you get to hang out with us.
I know,
that's
right?
really
That's fun.
is that
You're
not
fucking lucky, dude.
I know. You guys are a beautiful group.
No.
right? Tach, I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if this transfers over to Mike. Wait.
Oh, there we go.
Did you hear that? That's
Sound
the
like a
crack of
neck.
it. It did a little bit. That's the lid of the whiskey, or the Scotch. So I'm about to pour myself this wonderful Monarch of the Glen, which I've never had before.
It's a $12 bottle of Scotch.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the official Scotch of Scotch and Good Conversation.
For the listeners who are
nice.
new to us from Scotch and Good Conversation, can you
need
do it
help.
again? You were ready.
Oh,
You were-
go ahead. What?
Can you explain how the Twisted 10 works? Well, I'm pouring
Sure,
myself
of course.
a glass
If
of
this
Scotch.
is your first time listening to the Twisted 10, what we do is somebody comes up with an original, unique top 10 list, and it comes into the show. In this case, we have Scotch and Good Conversation. We got Peter. Did I say that right? Peter, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I had to do that.
His
was
name's,
like, wow.
his name's John. Tach, what are you doing?
Fuck. I apologize. Peter brought in a list for us, and what we do is we discuss it, we break it down, we put it in a glass with some ice, and we sip on it. Or maybe you like to sip on it neat, who knows? But then we break it down and we discuss it, and then there it is.
You went hard. You got like 3 fingers of Scotch there,
Yeah,
dude.
3 fingers, 3 cubes. That's the way I do
There
it.
you go.
I thought it was 2 cubes and 3 fingers.
Well, for you, it's 4 fingers.
Oh,
Me
me
no,
too.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we discuss it, and and the fun thing is the guest host that comes in
It's not horrible, right?
doesn't, and then the people do stuff. So okay, that's good.
I'm going to take advantage
It's cool.
of you tonight.
Tach's like, I was talking and you're
And
sipping
it's all good. Whatever.
sipping Scotch. No, it's really good. It's got long legs, too.
It's not bad, and I couldn't tell you what the name of that Scotch is, but I can tell you where it is in Total Wine.
It's good.
Yeah, it's $12.
Tach, you want a sip?
$12. That's all you need.
I'll take a sip.
You want to sip? All right,
$12
yeah.
of
Him
the
to walk
truth.
over.
It's walking,
Oh, I gotta reach.
walking.
He's never had alcohol before.
It's,
He turned
makes
into
me
an old
talk
man.
like Like, no
He's a
Jewish
Hasidic
man.
Jew. It's goddamn, I can't say. It turns him into an Hasidic Jew from drinking.
that like-
Chaim.
Is that like not feeding the gremlins
You try
after
it, babe?
midnight?
That is exactly. You want to try it? Take a little sip. Just a little bitty sip.
It'll
Most of the
taste
time, we don't
terrible.
even drink it on the podcast. That's the funny part. I have a desk like in the room, like everybody else does, and I put it out there because we record like at 2:00 in the afternoon on Tuesday, and I just feel weird drinking scotch at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But if someone goes, "Can we have some of that?" I was like, "Yeah." Who am I to say no? You know, you are the guest, so we'll have a beer or two. The more I do it, the more I realize maybe I don't need to be shit-faced drunk every single time I record a podcast.
Save that for special occasions.
And quite frankly, the hangovers start to hurt a little more.
Yeah.
And my wife gets mad when I can't get up the next morning. So I'm trying to be an adult, trying to be mildly professional.
I do my best not to drink during the podcasts. However, occasionally I like to imbibe a little bit, and that's good. I've got some Maker's Mark up there. I was going to pop for you.
Okay, I won't say no.
you're
but,
interested in
I do got to drive.
You want a Maker's Mark now, or do you want to
No,
wait till
we
they
can
break?
wait.
Okay.
We'll break. That'll be good because like I said, I'm nervous about reading here. There's
All
a
right.
lot of words on this paper.
Words are hard.
I haven't written this much probably since my senior year of high school.
That's the beauty of this show.
Yeah.
It's really strange. Even Rocky's list, even though it was relatively small, but it took him a ton of research time to get his list to not get something that was super common for people to listen to his list. We discovered that about 30 episodes in. Actually, we discovered it sooner, but when we used to do all of the shows before we started having guests come in and do them, every week one of us had to do 4 to 8 hours worth of research and preparation.
Research is hard and it's annoying.
Yes.
You got a real life, and it's a little.
As long
bit
as you
difficult.
enjoy the topic, then it's nice.
Agreed.
Hopefully, I was self-serving on this. This is something I enjoy. I don't think anybody else is going to dig it. So, but
I bet you'd be
fuck you guys.
surprised.
So, can you tell us a little bit about Scotch and Good Conversation? What that show's about?
Scotch and Good Conversation has been around for. I recorded episode 105 yesterday.
Oh wow, nice.
And this is me bragging. I don't know if you need to hit the bell on that.
If you'd like
we
me
did
to.
get second place last year to the Orlando's Best Podcast, to Tom and Dan last year.
Sweet.
I know,
Very
right?
good.
And
I didn't know that.
That was a total surprise. It wasn't because of me. I only had about 30 or 40 podcasts in at that point, maybe 40. And it wasn't because of me, because I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm at that point, especially, I wasn't very good at what I was doing, but I have great guests. I have, without bragging, the who's who of interesting movers and shakers of Orlando. I have musicians, I have people who make wine, I have brewers, I have authors, I have chefs come in. And for the first 20 or 30 or so podcasts, it was just my friends. I have really interesting friends. The idea was, the older my friends and I got, the less time we got to spend together hanging out. So I said, come on in. We're going to close the door. We're going to drink some scotch. We're going to turn off our phone. We're going to turn off the computer, and we're just going to talk and ask each other questions.
That's awesome.
They ask me 3 questions. I ask them 7 questions, and it just goes back. And most of the time, it's just nonsense. Sometimes it gets spiritual. Sometimes, we talk about religion or music or movies or authors. I always say, when it works, it's the conversation that I used to have when I was 21 or 22, after the bar closed down, and I'd go back to my house and we'd start a fire in the backyard and pass a bottle of scotch around. No phones, no computers. It was just people shooting the shit, but with your friend.
Yeah, of course.
And it's my favorite thing to do.
It really
It's
shows.
awesome.
A lot of interview podcasts don't grab my attention. However, there's a few interview podcasts that do. Yours for sure does, as well as Ray Burritos, a buddy of ours out of Palm Bay.
I don't know who that is. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, he's got a podcast called Gallows Humor, and it's mostly stand-up comics that he interviews, but he does a good job interviewing, and you do as well. If you pull questions out of people that they're not quite ready for the answers, and you do it on a rapid fire basis. And I fucking love it. I'm like, all right, where's the rapid fire? I want to hear the immediate answers off of somebody's, subconscious that they're not really focusing on.
The thing that
You
I
do
love
it's
about
good.
it is we say all the time there are no wrong answers, because I'm very aware that an answer can change on the spot. The first thing I always ask, our first 3 questions are, what are your 3 favorite bands, your 3 favorite books, and your 3 favorite authors? Because to me, that's the important stuff. That's the stuff that I care about. And then And then, they were like, oh my God, I didn't know you were going to ask that, which I don't know why. I ask you to listen to one damn podcast.
You'll hear it every show. Yes.
It's the one thing that's constant in the podcast. But I always say there are no wrong answers, and this is your answer off the top of head now. I'm aware that this is going to change, and I love it. It makes me so happy. I enjoy every single time I do it. I still get scared every time I turn the mic on. I love that kind of thrill. I love the thrill of having someone I don't know come in my house and sitting down and talking with them one-on-one without checking our phones or anything for an hour and getting to know somebody. And I've made amazing friends from it.
That's awesome.
It's fun. It
is awesome.
Yeah, it's a good time. And it didn't start out as us being an Orlando-centric podcast, but the more I did it, the more I realized these people are from Orlando and they represent Orlando. They are the people that make Orlando such an amazing city. Not the theme parks and not the bullshit,
right?
But the musicians and the chefs and the people making beer. We got so many good breweries in Orlando. So now it's mostly about the town and the places to go and the people to meet and the things to do.
That's awesome.
How are you guys?
We're doing good.
I tend to talk about myself a lot. I told you it's all about me.
No, that's good.
The whole thing's about me. It's just good to get people to come to my house and amuse me.
No, that's good. I talked to Rocky last week about we're having a potential competition style event somewhere in September. We don't have any of the dates planned yet. We've got our venue already picked out and some of the entertainment kind of tentatively picked out, but we haven't decided on all the details. But I will say it has to be a 4-person team.
Okay.
All right. No more, no less.
Hard for me.
Yeah, well, that's what Rocky said. He goes, "Wow, we can probably get Peter with Scotch to come over on
because that
team."
bowling thing worked out so well for us.
This one, I'll tell you. I'll give you a little hint. I'll give you a hint ahead of time in case we don't announce this before the competition. Knowing anything about Brevard County, geologically and landmarks and things like that will help you. In this competition.
So again, we're going to be terrible. Okay.
Here comes the Orlando guys. They know nothing about Brevard County.
Let's drink.
We did give them a handicap of some kind.
Yeah, maybe we could throw in a Brevard County resident in their vehicles or something. All right, we'll figure it out. That's too much of a tease because it's still kind of behind.
Well, count me in. I can cheat. I'll hire somebody. I'll pick up a prostitute on the way. You guys get prostitutes out here?
Yeah. I'll show you where later.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll show you where later. I like you.
Just don't check tax speed dial.
It's so sad.
All right. So at this point in the show, this is where we're going to turn it over to you. Tack does a metaphorical toss of the keys to the car.
Yeah.
So get ready to catch.
Over here,
I
ready?
don't know if I should have my glasses on for this.
It's all good, right?
Okay.
Metaphorical keys. Here they come.
He caught him. He caught it. That's
Some people don't.
I never catch shit too either.
Yeah.
That's the
2 in a
amazing
row.
part. And
Two in a row.
here's the problem. I can see my paper without my glasses on. I can't see any of you. And you're such a good looking group. So
Oh, it's tough.
Oh.
I haven't done any kind of miming since like high school drama class. I'm gonna put these over here.
That's fine.
Don't let me take these if I drink too much. Okay?
Yes.
So it's me now.
Yeah. So
Everybody's
this is the point of the show. We turn it over to you, and you take over. Now we'll interact with you the whole time.
Okay,
but
cool,
you
good.
take it over.
I'm gonna take my pants off.
Do it. I dare you.
I've never heard anybody do this. The first thing about my top 10 is I'm just going to give you some random information, have you guess
Okay.
what it is. Has
Oh,
that been
nice.
done?
Sort of.
Damn it. All right.
Well, kind of, but
Not as well as I'm going to.
we don't know what the name of your list is. or
Okay,
anything,
good.
so-
I'm going to explain, first of all. I grew up in the 80s. I will be 50, which is weird saying, in, what's today? In 12 days.
29th?
I'll be 50
30.
years old in 12 days,
Ooh.
assuming I don't die.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. It's
Ahead of
weird,
time.
right? Who saw that coming?
We're on your coattails, buddy.
I know. And I grew up, the bulk of when I kind of formed my personality, or whatever it is, was in the 80s, which
yes.
everybody says, the 80s, they were so good. They were no different. Everybody who thinks when they were in their teens, they think that's the best time of their lives.
Of course.
But it was the best time of my life. You know,
I've had this conversation with somebody. Was it you? No, it was somebody at work. Because I remember saying that, and then my argument was that, well, that's just when we were kids, but no, it's actually true.
But it's also
the 80s were very special.
it's also about perception too. It was a really good time of your life, you know, when you were free and
Yes,
young.
but the
and-
80s really were good. Like the 60s and 70s, 90s, 2000s. You know, it's
The 90s were terrible.
80s really do stick out.
90%.
The 80s really pop out over the past 50 years, 60 years.
I have always been a music guy, and in the 80s, as much as I kind of fancied myself like sort of a new wave dude, like, you know, not necessarily a punk rock guy, not necessarily mainstream music, you know,
Sure.
Flesh for Lulu, Flock of Seagulls, Echo and the Bunnymen, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this warm spot in my heart for cheesy, over-the-top rock and roll.
Oh,
Nice.
I think I know what's
Go ahead
in
and say it.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's a hint. So this is my top 10 list. So the first part, number 1.
No, number 10.
No.
Oh, number 10.
Well, what's
Okay,
the name? Do you have a name for the list? Like top 10
Is it-
craziest? You know?
After.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is his
I'm
fifth.
jumping the gun.
I did it in reverse.
I'm jumping the gun.
This will be number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Tack, his tist.
Okay.
His twist is that we name it at the end, maybe?
No, you're at the end of number 10, you guys, I'm going to say, do you know who I'm talking about?
Ah, okay.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. This person was born in Bloomington, Indiana on October 10th, 1954.
All right.
This person started life as the child of a gynecologist. Some of their early music favorites were jazz artists like Al Jolson, R&B legend Ray Charles. As a kid, during the summers, they would often go visit their Uncle Manny in New York City. Uncle Manny ran a very famous Greenwich Village club called Club Wah. Club Wah was popular in the late 50s and 60s, and they had such acts there as Bob Dylan, Hendrix, Richard Pryor, Woody Allen, the Velvet Underground was there, and countless other like comedians sitting bands. So this was a hot spot in the late 50s up until the early 70s. I think it pretty much closed down in the late 60s.
Okay.
Another hint.
Oh.
Okay, this person has sung in more than 4 octaves. So it's a musician.
wow.
Okay.
Is it a male or a female? Or can we not get that
I'm
yet?
not telling you.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Which is a
like
rare,
it.
it's a rare vocal feat that anybody can do this. Only a handful of other musicians can do it. Mariah Carey can.
She can do 7 from what I heard.
Christina Aguilera. Jeff Buckley. Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. So that weeds him out.
Damn.
Yeah. Bobby McFerrin. Remember him?
Yep. Don't worry. Be happy.
And Roy Orbison were some of the people that I found. I did a little research on that.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Does anybody want to take a guess?
All right.
You said born in 59.
54.
54. I'm glad
So
you were
he'd be
paying attention.
62?
Yeah.
63? He'd be 63
I think
now.
that sounds
Or
about
she.
right. Yeah, I can't do that kind of math. Yeah.
Popular in the 80s, so we're going to go with that.
First, I was thinking Michael Jackson, but that's not right.
Oh, still alive or no? Ooh. Don't know. Okay.
No, I know. I'm not
he
telling
knows.
you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you a
Yeah, I
hint.
don't
and
know.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully this will work.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.
Anyone?
Oh, is that
Steven Tyler?
yeah, Steven Tyler?
Oh, no, I'll give you another one. I really thought you guys would get this.
I know who it is then. It's David Lee Roth.
Diamond David
David Lee Roth.
That's right.
Yes.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
And all I've got, I had to steal.
It's Diamond David Lee Roth. He's like my favorite frontman. And I don't know why. Like I said, I grew up listening to sort of new wave and stuff like that. But Van Halen, he to me is the quintessential rock and roll moron. He's a clown and he's an idiot and he partied and he's a surfer dude and he womanized women and he was just
He was a goofball back
handsome looking dude and he partied and made bad decisions and good decisions. So this is my top 10 about Diamond David Lee Roth.
Oh, yes.
then. Oh, I see now. Okay.
Okay, so
Oh, that's odd. By the way, those sound clips were not sound clips, listeners. That was actually Peter doing his impersonation.
It's pretty good.
Yes,
huh?
I was impressed.
no, that actually is isolated vocals from Running with the Devil,
Oh, okay.
which is out there, and they're great. Like if you're looking for just something fun, look up soundboard David Lee Roth, and you'll get sounds like this. Yes, that's my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, my wife said don't go nuts with the soundboard, but we don't do soundboards on Scotch and Good Conversation. Dang. So and I've always wanted to because I have a warm spot in my heart for wacky
Absolutely.
90s radio.
Absolutely. We're gonna incorporate one on the Living Vicariously show in the future, but we haven't done that quite yet.
So anyway, a young Dave saw his first psychiatrist for being super active at the age of 6.
Damn.
Right.
By the time he was 13, he had read the Corinne and Lenny Bruce's How to Talk Dirty and Influence People. He had oral sex for the first time in 10th grade while he was watching Buddy Hackett on The Tonight Show.
10th grade's not too bad for that.
I thought that was
about
okay.
right.
Yeah, I still something about watching Buddy Hackett on The Tonight Show is pretty cool.
That's true.
Dave's family moved to California. He was a teenager, and he went on to study music theory at the Pasadena City College. It was there that he befriended 2 brothers from the Netherlands who were playing in a band called Mammoth. Anybody want to guess who those guys were?
Let me guess.
I think you know.
I don't know
think their
the
last
names
name.
of the band.
Huh?
Do you know? I don't know the names
Van
of the
Halen, right?
Eddie and Alex Van Halen.
Van Halen. Oh, okay, that's the brothers. Okay.
The Van Halens would frequently rent a PA from David Lee Roth because he was playing in a band called Red Ball Jets. Not soon after that, of course, Dave weaseled his way into Van Halen. They found out that the name Mammoth somebody else had the rights to. So Dave decided, let's call it Van Halen. And from what I've read, he just thought it would be really cool because people would think that his name was Van Halen, like lead singer Van Halen.
That's a
See,
good
I
point.
can relate because my last name is Van Sickle.
I'm Von
And
Taborsky.
you're
Look at that.
Wow, we're Dutch.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
like gold.
Yeah,
We're
like
just-
gold.
I must be the most boring name in here. She's Krupnik, and then I'm just Poston. Nothing-
That wasn't my real name, though.
Right.
Really,
What is your
really,
maiden
I'm a
name?
Bircham.
Bircham?
Bircham.
Yep.
I thought it was Joy.
That's
Andrea
my
Joy.
middle name.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
I'm waiting for a last name.
Hi, have we
Oh,
met? Yeah, no.
Nope.
That's
Nope.
why it's blank. It's waiting.
you know, I am an ordained minister. I can fix this. Like
Hey, so
literally.
am I.
Like right now?
Universal Life Church.
Oh.
I think so.
Okay, yeah, Modesto, California.
Oh, that's my alma mater.
All right, good.
I'll run upstairs and change real fast.
I performed 7 weddings. I can do this.
I've never done it.
Oh, it's terrifying. Anyway, shortly after Michael Anthony joined the band, and rock and roll history started right
Absolutely.
there. This is thing number 9 because I'm doing it in reverse.
Number 9.
9.
If you check out any kind of YouTube, just YouTube David Lee Roth interviews or read any interviews with him because the man has a way with words. And when you guys had me, you invited me in to come in here, I initially thought that I would just do top 10 David Lee Roth quotes because he's very quotable. Through most of the 80s, he was on cocaine. And he talks a lot anyway, so I find his quotes fascinating. So I'm just going to hit you with some of my favorites.
All right.
He wrote this was a quote about writing a book, and he did write a book. It clocked in at almost 1,200 pages. They edited it down to about 350. It was the 1997 autobiography, Crazy from the Heat. And it reads, I've read the book. It reads a lot like he talks. It's a very annoying book, but it talks so much. It's just the decadence and wonderfulness. Is there a spider web on your? Like, I love that. Is there? It's very spooky in here. About
spider?
It might have been a hair. I'm not used to having hair near my microphone. So
Yeah, agreed.
Anyway, Crazy from the Heat.
we need to clean in here, Andrea. Jeez, we need to clean.
It reads like just a book of bad decisions on rock and roll from the 80s. Anyway, about writing a book, I lost my place. Hold on. He said, edited down, if I was to do a book on my lyrics, it should come with a bong, a thesaurus, and a driver's side airbag. When asked about the secret of success, he said, what I am on stage, I really am. Sometimes it's exaggerated so the people in the 90th row can see, but that's all essentially there. Don't let it become an act. Don't act, period. Behave or misbehave, as the case may be. This is high voltage folk music. You got to be real. You got to be real with people out there. This is sage wisdom advice on women on the road, which we're going to cover later on. He said
That's what I'm talking about.
he said you take what you have in front of you and you make the most of it. You either dance with it or share a beer with it, or you just hold hands with it for 10 minutes, which I think is kind of romantic.
That's a good quote.
Yeah. On touring, he said, It feels like you're chasing the ice cream truck through the rain. I also like that. Now, my last three are my favorite David Lee Roth quotes. On exercise, he said, I used to jog, but the ice cubes kept falling out of my whiskey glass.
Cheers to that. That's what I'm talking about.
On money, he said, money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a big boat that you can pull up alongside of happiness. Yeah. And this is my personal favorite, and it was my Facebook quote for a long time, which is dumb to have a Facebook quote at 49. But
It's all right.
he said, what makes me happiest in life? It's I sell smiles for a living. Here's one. You can have it for free. It looks good on you. That's what makes me happy.
Aw.
So Dave, I mean,
Touching.
I know he's a good guy. Thing number 7. Number 7?
Number
Number
seven.
7. Okay. in the mid 80s, and I didn't know if I could use the word midget.
They prefer the term little people.
Yeah, I know.
But in the 80s, you could.
Yeah, in the 80s.
Right.
In the 80s, this was acceptable. Dave had 2 black belt midget bodyguards, which I think is awesome.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he just Google midget bodyguards David Lee Roth, and there's some great pictures of him.
While you continue, I'm going to pull that up on the big screen.
Yeah, he had 2 black belt midget bodyguards, and he would pretty much dress them in black jeans, black sneakers, and a shirt that said security on it. I'm fairly certain that they weren't really doing a whole lot of bodyguarding. But frequently he would have them come up on stage with a bottle of Jack Daniels, and he would drink Jack Daniels with a little person, which I don't know. I think that's pretty much is the essence of rock and roll right there.
Yeah, you can get away with that.
You pulling it up? There you go. That's Dave with his
Can you see him, Tech?
No.
They're adorable.
Oh, yeah.
What's more offensive, midget or calling them adorable?
Yeah, I think they're both. I think this is both equally.
I want midget
offensive.
bodyguards. Black belt little people bodyguards.
I think I remember seeing pictures of them dressed in karate gis at one point, and I couldn't. I looked. Trust me, I looked on this. I couldn't find it, but I remember seeing them, and I just think that over the top decadence of rock and roll is really kind of missed now.
Yeah.
You know, Poison tried to do it, but it just looked bad on them.
I think the last really good one was Axl Rose. Like he was a great frontman. He was good. He was loud. He was a fucking asshole, and it just was so great.
He was just so dangerous. Like, I mean, you never know if he was just going to destroy the place and just leave, and then 80,000 people go nuts and
cause
tear the place
and,
down. Where Dave would come into your podcast. He would be high on coke and talk for an hour and a half,
right?
Which I might be. Anyway, thing number 4.
David Lee Taborsky.
David Lee, sure.
Number
6. Number 6. I'm doing it backward. Yeah, damn it. Number 6. I'm gonna get this right next time. In 2003, Dave pulled a shotgun on a home invader.
Ooh.
Nice.
He said, Dave was, hold on a second, I lost my place. It's kind of dark in here. Dave stopped a home invader with a shotgun. When talking to the San Francisco Chronicle on the incident, he explained, some character was crawling over the wall, which is truthfully about 15 feet high. He ran the length of a football field around the corner, and when I finally confronted him from the window, he started blabbing in 3 versions of Martian and takes off running and yelling. One of the beauties of a shotgun is you don't actually have to aim it at most people. You just rack the thing as hard as you can a couple times. Just like in television, I made him put his hands behind his head and lay down in the sprinkler system and went and called the cops. And then he says, I was a little jumpy.
Yeah, I'd bet. Good Lord. The poor guy. Could you imagine being the guy jumping that fence, scaling a 15-foot fence, then running across this giant lawn, and then there's David Lee Roth standing there with a shotgun pointed at you. What do you do at that point? You're like, I'm out of breath. Can I just catch it?
You lay
before I
down
leave?
on the sprinkler system.
He said that the guy actually asked him for a soda.
Oh,
and
well.
when the cops got there, he went and got him the soda.
Oh, that's cool.
He's just the most charming, wonderful person. And I love crazy people.
Wait a second, was that you? Skip the fence?
No. I don't even own a Van Halen record anymore. Like I think
Really?
or David Lee Roth record. Like I don't own any of them. And I listened to Crazy from the Heat on the way up here, and I listened a little bit of Skyscraper. Those are his second and third solo records, and they're so dated and they sound so 80s that I couldn't make my way through a whole lot of them.
Sure.
But there's something charming about it. There's something just amazingly rock and roll. If you look at the videos, Google David Lee Roth videos. Everybody remembers Just a Gigolo?
Oh, absolutely.
Just a Gigolo.
Just a Gigolo, and the next couple ones he did all the color correcting for, and there's a beautiful style to them. If you remember these colors, and they're very rich and vivid and kind of strange, almost like a dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he went through and color corrected all of those first couple videos. He directed them. He picked the costumes for them. Yeah, and this isn't on my list because it was just way too crazy a story. He, with CBS Films, I think it was, he had a $10 million film deal in 1987.
Damn, really?
Yeah, that fell through, and he was going to make the story of a rock and roll guy much like himself. He hired a band.
Eminem 8 Mile.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know.
Good point.
Does Eminem get a bell? I feel like he shouldn't.
I felt like it was a plug.
Okay. Okay. But the band that he hired went on to become his touring band, like Billy Sheehan, who's...
Oh, no shit. So the band he hired to do the movie is who he ended up bringing on tour.
Went on to become his touring band, which is a monster of a band. Steve Vai was in the band, the guitarist Steve Vai, who was in Frank Zappa's band. And he was a rock and roll prodigy who went to like prodigy college, like at like 14.
At PU.
At 14.
He's quite a scholar when it comes to guitar.
And went on to tour with Frank Zappa, who was no slouch when it came to music. And Dave picked these monster musicians to be in his band, and they went on to be his touring band.
Nice.
Yeah, it's he was really good at just the details, the beautiful little things. Like those videos, they're stunning. They're a couple of the articles I read about those videos. When you think of 80s videos, Just a Gigolo comes to mind.
Absolutely.
You know, some are up there with like Billie Jean or Thriller or something.
Yeah.
For the listeners, if unless I've received a cease and desist, you'll be hearing a little bit of Just a Gigolo on the way out at the break.
Well, and that also shows where his head was. That's a Louis Prima cut. It's not an original. It's a cover.
Yeah, yeah.
And that shows where Uncle Manny came in, because those kind of people were, you know, he grew up outside. His Uncle Manny's bar was in Greenwich Village, and in the 50s and 60s, he was seeing these people come in and out of a bar.
Nice.
The dude loves showbiz. He loves jazz hands. He loves anything that's big and over the top.
Like his California Girls video too is another one. That,
And like I said, if you're listening at home, Google these videos. There's a certain style to them.
I'm
pretty sure he had a top hat and a cane through.
Yeah,
absolutely. I was maybe 11 the first time I saw the California Girls video. Let me just say that was a perfect age to see that video. Those high side bikinis.
Those Red Scott bikinis, man.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. I mean, I love them for the taste in their color coordination, Andrea. That's...
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all right.
I like him for the naked girls. I was wearing him.
I was trying not to tell
Thanks
her.
for your honesty, Tach.
Yeah.
But that's me too. Then me too.
That's what this show's all about. Oh no, this is Limp Vicariously. My bad.
No, you can lie on this one. Did you just plug yourself?
I play myself.
I need a bell. I'm gonna get you a gong. Would you get if I buy you a gong? Could you use a gong?
We've been wanting a gong in here for the longest time.
True story. Our web guy, Mr. Wilson.
Sure.
His mother and father just took a job. Well, his father took a job at an Air Force station out in Japan.
Okay, that sounds fun.
They're awesome people. They're amazing people. I know them. I know their son. I know their daughter. They're just awesome. Really, really cool people. Friends of the show. In fact, one of our Patreon subscribers. This is definitely a plug bell. Dan and Stephanie Lynn. Thank you for the Patreon donation. However, I've begged them through that family
to bring a gong
an
back.
authentic gong, mini, not a giant one, just a mini one for the studio.
Yeah.
How cool of a story, number one, would it be to say this is an actual gong from Japan that our friends sent back over to us? So we haven't got it yet. Maybe in the 6 months or so. But
or air horn. That'd be fun and mess up your mics.
God.
Yes. Oh,
was that number 6?
That was number 6. This is number 5.
Oh wait, not
time
yet.
for a break.
Oh,
Yeah, let's do a break.
Okay.
Break on the
Am
show.
I going too fast? I feel like I'm blowing
No,
through
no,
these.
you're good.
Okay.
We're 40 minutes into a segment.
Oh,
So
okay.
No, it's fine. Our show's usually between an hour and an hour and a half.
Oh,
so
we're
that's
going to go
perfect.
long. Yeah, I can talk all day.
All right, so we're going to take a break in studio. I need a refill of my scotch.
Good for you.
And during the break, we're going to strike up some pretty good conversation in here in studio. Zach, what do you think?
During the break?
That's kind of a plug, sort of.
Oh. Yeah.
Good conversation.
No, I got you.
All right.
I don't know if you've noticed my good is in lowercase.
I did.
Yeah, in parentheses, because sometimes it's not that good.
By the way, I will say your branding and your style is cool because your posts on Facebook, your imagery, your branding, the whole 9 yards, you already produce a brand for yourself ahead of time, maybe unintentionally, but it's there and it's awesome.
That was intentional. It's the only good thing I'm good at.
It's really good. It's very, you can identify that without even reading, you know who it's from. It's because as soon as you see the font and the little the colors with a little bit of shaded, not like grayed out areas or
misspelled words, bad punctuation. That's all me. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, take a listen to a little bit of DJ. Oh no, we're doing
we're gonna
David Lee Roth. All right, listen
Gigolo.
listen to little David Lee Roth there in the break. We will be back in just a few minutes.
I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. Paid for every dance, selling each romance. Ooh, what they say. There will come a day when youth will pass away. What will they say about me when the end comes? I know there's just a gigolo's. Life goes on without me.
Hey, it's Adam. If you enjoy the hosts or the content of The Twisted 10, be sure to check out our other show. It's called Living Podcariously. While The Twisted 10 may get crass and explicit occasionally, it holds no water to Living Podcariously. We do get a little bit more rough and raw on that show. We have a lot of fun producing it and have had some awesome guests. And as always, thanks for listening.
What will they say about me when the end comes? I know it was just a gigolo. Life goes on without me.
Hey, Tach, you ever have that conversation with your girl about where to eat dinner and it always turns into that back and forth? I don't know, you pick.
Yeah, every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got an answer for you next time that comes up.
Oh, yeah? Where at?
The Salty Fox in Melbourne off of Oak Alley Boulevard.
Oh, nice. You know, I've actually been there, and the food was pretty awesome.
Hell yeah, it was. They offer a great selection of paninis, shareable appetizers, soups and salads, and one of the best desserts I've ever had, the Funky Monkey.
Oh, yeah. My favorite was the vintage options. They got this meal called ramen noodle on crack. You just got to try it out.
Done. That's definitely what I'm getting next time.
Put the fun between your legs at the Salty Fox every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. with the Oak Alley Arts District Bike Crawl.
It's a 4-mile bicycle ride down Pineapple Avenue with stops for food and beer all along the route. Be sure to visit the Salty Fox every Sunday for brunch from 11 to 4.
Hey, isn't that the $10 bottomless mimosas brunch?
Sure is. Enjoy your brunch while the Salty Fox's DJ spins throwbacks and top 40 hits.
Salty Fox is located in the downtown Oak Alley Art District on Oak Alley Boulevard.
Check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/saltyfoxmelbourne or online at thesaltyfox.net.
Hey listeners, be sure to mention you heard about the Salty Fox on our show and you'll get 10% off your meals.
Hey Coco, have you ever heard of 1K Away?
Well, it sounds like one of them groups that I hang out with every Thursday.
Gosh, no. It's out of Sanford, Florida. It's a podcast by these two guys. They have no clue what they're doing, but you know what? It sounds awesome.
They let black and ease like you into it?
Oh, so many things to address there. But no, if you go to Google, just type in 1K Away. And if you go to Facebook, type in 1K Away. You'll find it.
What the fuck is a Google?
Oh, my God.
Village Idiot Pub. You locals know about it. You guys from out of town have to check them out.
Village Idiot Pub is now a proud sponsor with Living Podcariously and the Twisted 10 podcasts.
It's more than just about commercials, though. The cast here will be taking our show on the road to Village Idiot to record some episodes as well as hold events. They have over 30 beers on tap, including ciders and Hefeweizen, my favorite, as well as hundreds of bottle choices.
Adam, you forgot my favorite, all the delicious wine. So get your friends together and enjoy the board games, puzzles, and the giant Jenga.
Let the owner, Jason, as well as the rest of the staff there, take excellent care of your beer drinking needs.
Mention either one of our shows to the staff and get 10% off your tab.
Tuesday is open mic, Wednesday is trivia, Thursday is karaoke, Friday and Saturday night are live music.
Visit them at 4 Harrison Street, Suite 103, Cocoa, Florida, or Village Idiot Pub on Facebook. And don't forget, they are a dog-friendly location, so bring your friends, family, and fur babies.
Well, East Coast girls are hip. I really dig those styles they wear. And the Southern girls with the way they talk, they knock me out.
to the Twisted 10.
Woot woot.
Oh, yeah. So this week we are honored to have Peter from Scotch and Good Conversation in studio with us.
Woot
My
woot.
honor.
No, that's definitely on us, especially with the goodness that you brought me. I'm already feeling warm and tingly.
Don't you love it?
And he brought me something to drink, Andrea. All right, so your list this week is the top 10
Fun facts?
notable facts about...
Just interesting facts.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't put a real
No, that's all right.
name on it about Diamond David Lee Roth. Diamond David,
Snazzy facts.
Mr. David Lee Roth.
Can you-
Mr.
can-
Entertainment. Mr.
Can you
Rock and Roll.
recap the top the last 5 for us? So 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6 for us. Just the
10
top.
was just random facts about his life.
Okay.
Okay, now that you're asking me something hard. You can edit this and make it sound good.
Also edited to make my jokes funnier.
Okay, yeah.
I've already promised you, Tack, I'm going to start adding a laugh track behind every
Oh, yeah,
joke
that's
that you
right,
say.
that's right, yeah.
And it's only going to be just behind
That's a
yours.
punchline indicator. Yes.
Yes.
That's what we do.
9 was random quotes,
All right. Yeah,
which
that's right.
Dave is incredibly quotable. 7 was his black belt midget bodyguards.
That's right. Why did I laugh so hard at that?
6 because they're black
I
belt
love
midget
midgets.
bodyguards. Yeah, little people. Yeah,
Yes,
little
thank
people.
you.
In
They
the new
prefer
millennium,
them.
we call them little people. But back when Dave was doing it, they were black belt midget bodyguards.
Yes.
Number 6 was he pulled a shotgun in 2004 on a home invader.
On a quote
That's right.
home invader,
Yeah. Who
aka Peter.
who he later went and gave a soda. And this
What
is
kind of soda was it?
I don't know. It's the 80s. I'm sure it was like Pepsi free or something.
Tab.
Pepsi Clear.
Sure.
Tab.
Clear,
Why
clear
not?
Pepsi?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of
RC
like
Cola.
that's
It's like
controversial,
2000.
sir.
That's like
because
2000-ish.
the
isn't it?
Pepsi Clear commercial had Van Halen, but it was the Sammy Hagar Van Halen theme song.
Oh.
Ooh, that's
How
right.
do you guys feel about the Sammy Hagar Van Halen?
Hey, look, each was good in their own right to me. I mean, it's
I love some Sammy, but I'm a Diamond. As far as Van Halen goes, I'm a
Sure.
Diamond David Lee Roth fan. I like Sammy. I mean, I can't drive 55, and what's that 3-lock box? Yeah, I mean
that's almost like bar fight worthy debate.
there
right
are people who are
Yes.
seriously get upset about one or the other, and to me, Van Halen will always be Van Halen with Diamond Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit too poppy, but in 1984 when that record came out, it started. The diehard fans started to get really angry because there were keyboards on it. But Eddie Van Halen was writing keyboard music. A lot of those songs, like the opening tracks to Jump and I'll Wait, were 3 years old. Actually, speaking of
Damn.
I'll Wait, and this didn't make the list. I don't know why. Did it make the list? I hope not. Well, I might blow this out of the water. The co-writer of I'll Wait. Anybody know who it was?
The co-writer of I'll Wait.
Wait, let me make sure. I got my everything's so mixed up. Anybody want to take a guess at it?
Let's go
I
with
have no idea.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
You got it. First try. I'll give you a hint. He was in the Doobie Brothers.
John Doobie. I don't know.
John Doobie. Michael McDonald.
Oh, no shit.
Yes, Michael McDonald co-wrote the song. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Not in love anymore.
That's a throwback for our friend Dan Cummins with Time Suck.
Indeed.
He's a huge Michael McDonald fan.
Yeah.
He co-wrote one of the hits off 1984 called I'll Wait. Apparently, and I knew this, but I didn't like kind of jump into it. Apparently, Dave was,
I see what you did there.
Dave was kind of stuck on some lyrics, and the producer of the record was producing the new Michael McDonald record, and they gave him a cassette tape, 80s, of All Wait, and said, would you like to work with Dave? And he said, yeah, and they came in the studio and kind of banged out the lyrics to one of my favorite,
Nice.
like, poppy Van Halen songs.
Yeah.
That's a bonus. That's a bonus. That's like
As a
five,
bonus tack.
5.5.
We got a top 11 this week.
Oh.
5.5.
Just like Brent Hand would say, it's 11 for your 10 money.
So
That's a Hysteria 51 plug.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go, Hysteria 51.
So we're on 5.
Number 5.
Number five.
Number
5. David Lee Roth once went for 4 days and nights in the jungles of New Guinea without food.
Really?
On purpose or?
In 1984, Diamond Dave used to take trips to the highland jungles of New Guinea. He and his crew, which he called the Jungle Studs.
Gotta like that.
I know.
That's my
Dave gets a bell.
That needed to be plugged.
that's my gang member name.
Yeah, the Jungle Studs.
The Jungle Studs.
They would wander through the wilds, moving from village to village, eating whatever they could get their hands on through trade. And keep in mind that the guy's a millionaire at this point, you know? And this is 1984.
Yeah, but knowing him, as eccentric as he is, he's probably trading like bananas he just plucked for something else of greater value. You know, he's
I'm sure it was an never-ending quest for cocaine was what it was. But they would get anything they could get their hands on, fruit or a recently butchered pig. It was on that trip that he and the Jungle Studs, which included his girlfriend at the time, so good for him and good for her,
nice.
Went for almost 4 days without food. I'm so bad at this is pretty much what the podcast is like too. It's me getting lost in.
Well, it's a good thing they had all that Coke, so they weren't really hungry for the food.
I can neither confirm nor deny that he was on Coke.
I didn't find any Coke, but I got guinea pigs.
Tach, I will tell you though, with a name like Jungle Studs, and David allowed his girlfriend to be in there with him. Do you think he got into some of that jungle bush? Dad joke of the day. I'm just saying. It was the 80s, so
I know.
we referenced Bush earlier off the podcast.
Right.
I like it. They not all the time. They ran out of supplies and they were worried they might die. Finally, at the end of the 4th day, the Jungle Studs happened upon a village and were saved. The trip to New Guinea wasn't Roth's only travel adventure. In the 80s, he and the Jungle Studs also traveled to the Amazons and the Himalayas.
Oh, nice.
In an interview with People in 1986, don't you love David Lee Roth quotes? They're going to be all over the place. Diamond Dave described why such trips appealed to him. He said, I like extremes. Either noises, cities, pavement, and stink, or absolute nothingness. Dave upon the burning sands.
Damn.
Yep. He has a podcast also, which he doesn't put out very often. It's every 5 months something. He'll sporadically, like 3 podcasts will come out, and it's called The Roth Show, and it's pretty much just him talking. It's verbal diarrhea. It's amazing and horrible at the same time, telling stories. I think his last one was about wrestling in the 1940s and 50s, professional wrestling.
Jesus Christ, that's a hell of a topic.
Anyway, on the Roth Show, Roth recommends if you go on an epic trip, an excursion to like a developing nation, get a few chapters into a really big, thick book before you go onto one of these trips. Why? He says, because you're going to get diarrhea and you won't be able to have toilet paper around. So what you do is you read a page and then wipe your ass with it.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Number 7.
Nope. Number
4. See, this is why I wasn't drinking. This is
number 7. Number 4.
You know, it's funny because I was doing the math and it says 6 there, and I was like, I figured it out. Number 4. Math is hard. This is where we talk about women.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He created the Diamond David Lee Roth bonus program to encourage Van Halen road crews to pick the best groupies for him.
That makes sense.
All right, so listen, if we ever get famous enough with a podcast, Tach, you're in charge of getting my groupies ready, okay?
Your groupies ready? So what, I gotta just like warm up Andrea?
Sure, that'll work.
I'm going to have my own groupies.
Here's the trick.
Okay.
First of all, fill a stadium or a concert hall with 35,000 people.
Exactly.
Okay. And it's no secret Dave likes women. I mean, if you watch the videos or read, I mean, he's just a horn dog. He created the Diamond David Lee Roth bonus program to incentivize to get the members of Van Halen.
Words are hard too,
Yeah, we get the members of Van Halen road crew to rope him into corralling nightly groups of just beautiful 80s babes in high-waisted underwear. I did that for you.
That's awesome.
I know. French cut, man. The 80s. Each member of his crew was given 5 backstage passes to distribute during the show. Whomever handed out the women that Dave slept with would get awarded $100.
Really?
Which in 1983 is a lot of money.
It's a pretty good amount of change.
Yeah. I mean, I would take $100
That would be a fun job.
for basically
love
talking
that
to pretty
job.
girls.
Yeah. You can do that for me.
Okay.
And this is why it was brilliant. And this also comes into play into one that's later on. Another fact that I'm sure I'll get the number wrong. The program was so popular that it sped up the crew, like in tearing down everything, because what they wanted to do was go talk to girls and get $100. So their crew would tear shit down in record time after Dave did this. So not only was he getting laid with the highest caliber of 80s babes, but the crew was working double time
Can you imagine that? You're so famous that you send your boys out to handpick out of your audience.
And they want the $100, so they're gonna
get the cream of the crop.
Hey, have you ever fucked David Lee Roth? Fucking,
You want to?
I think you should.
Not,
You should.
Not only that, I mean, this guy was horny. He's just brilliant. Not only that, he had a highly organized color code system for finding women that he wanted to sleep with. Also,
no shit.
Original MTV VJ Mark Goodman, remember him?
Mark Goodman.
He was one of the original crews. He had like
Is he the mullet guy, or he had like a poofy hair?
He had like a poofy hair guy. Yeah. He knew him pretty well, and he comes up time and time again when I was researching. He said this. He said when Dave was touring, both with Van Halen and solo, he had barriers put in front of the stage with different colors that faced him, red, blue, green, that denoted different areas of the audience. He'd look for hot girls, and in between songs, he'd go over to his assistant on the side of the stage and say, green, right, 14 rows back, 3 seats in. The assistant would go out into the audience and stick a pass on the girl's breast. And after the show, there'd be 25 to 30 girls waiting in the dressing room who all thought they'd be singled out to sleep with Dave that night.
Oh my God. This is awesome. This is such a fucking
what happens
rock star.
after that? Like, does he do like a game show?
Well, Dave would sleep with, he said in an interview I read, his record was 5 women at the same time, which is just amazing.
My God, man.
The ones that he wouldn't sleep with, the crew would get.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's part of a giving back.
So you
program.
You work for Van Halen or David Lee Roth, and you get $100 for picking the best girl, and then
Dave gives back.
Then Dave gives back.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Everybody's happy.
It's the gift that keeps on giving for everybody.
Yeah, usually
and the
it
girls
does,
don't
too.
leave empty-handed
No,
either.
empty anything. Yeah, they're just full of everything.
They are certainly full at the end of the night.
It's happy ending.
Happy ending. That's lovely. That's adorable.
I'm not saying I condone this kind of thing, but there are reasons.
I do.
There are reasons guys become rock stars.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I'm sure those girls had. I'm sure their moms gave them like advice. Don't
Condoms?
sleep with David Lee Roth if you go to see Van Halen.
You know, somewhere out there, somewhere along the line of listens that this podcast will get, there's a woman, she's probably around 50 at this point.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That probably was one of these girls at one of these David Lee Roth concerts.
If you are one of these girls, contact the show.
Please let us do a follow-up interview.
and then come on Scotch, a good conversation. Bell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
If my math serves me correctly, this is number 3. Am I right?
Number 3.
I nailed it.
Trace.
Florida
High
high school education.
Ocho.
That's for you, Jay.
That's for Rick.
You may or may not know this one. He worked as an EMT. David Lee Roth was an emergency medical technician in the early 80s and was never once recognized in New York City.
Oh, so he did it while he was famous?
No, after Van Halen, after David Lee Roth, things were settling down. This was the early 2000s. He had cut his hair back.
Gotcha.
And he told the New York press that he had gone on hundreds of ambulance rides through some of New York City's toughest neighborhoods as an EMT. He said he'd never. He said it was an eye-opening adventure. Not once had anybody recognized him. It was perfect for him. I think this was at the point where he had money. He just wanted adventure. The guy just runs on adrenaline.
So he didn't. So he cut his hair, and obviously he wasn't in the garb that he would normally be recognized in. So yeah, he's got kind of a face that's not, super uncommon. So
and if you get hit by a cab in New York City, the last person you expect to see come rescue you.
Plus, you're kind of a little bit preoccupied.
Yeah,
it's like, man, is David Hart? Are you David Lee Roth?
It's David Lee Roth. Linda Resserman, I think that's right, but I don't think she's going to be mad if I got it wrong, who was Roth's EMT consultant and tutor at the time, says the rocker was totally committed to the new line of work. He said he was very serious. And you would never know you were dealing with a rock and roll guy. His commitment was really touching. He wants to help people.
That's cool.
I know, right?
That's really cool.
Yeah. I
love that double life thing. That's fucking awesome.
Well, it gets worse. Okay.
Yes.
This is number 2. Math. I'm
Dose.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ocho.
Number 2. I think I'm.
It's for Ray Brito.
Yeah. You guys. I'm pretty sure it's 2. It could be 3. I don't know. Rumor has it that at the height of Van Halen fame, Roth insured his dick for $1 million. In an interview with the Huffington Post in March of 2013, Diamond David Lee Roth was asked if it was true if he insured his body for $1 million with Lloyd's of London, explaining that he did insure his King of Crotch in Roll. I didn't write that. That's just dumb. Dave tried to contextualize life on the road with Van Halen. He said, keep in mind, we were a billion years ago. We were the Tarzans of the airwaves, the Billy Kid meets Spider-Man times of Flash Gordon. Dave talks like this. Somebody said, well, we have to insure Eddie's fingers because he's going to use them a lot on the road.
I see what they did there.
And then he's guitarist and he might use them a lot on the road. He was married to Valerie Vernelli at the time. So I'm sure Eddie cheated.
Yeah.
I'm not Eddie, if you're listening, I hope you didn't cheat, buddy. He said that Alex Van Halen's elbows, drummers use their elbows. We're going to have to insure those because at the time, millions of dollars were tied up in these shows. So they were probably insuring people.
A lot of people depended on the money that they brought in too. So
he said, so they're going to have to insure Alice's elbows. He said, well, what about little Elvis? I'm going to use that a lot. So he and from what I read, he did have an insurance policy, basically saying that if someone said they got pregnant through him, that policy would take care of that person.
No shit.
Yeah. So this is a legitimate thing. I actually did read into this a little bit. So Dave had $1 million policy on his dick.
That's crazy.
This could be either. Oh no, this is 9 or 10. Anyone?
One.
This would be number one. Okay. I told you I'd be bad at this.
Number one.
This is a lot like my podcast. No name. I'm not going to get you a bell, but it's a lot like my podcast. I frequently get
Scotch and good conversation.
I frequently get lost in what I'm doing because I'm just having a good time hanging out.
Yeah.
This is number one, and this just happened in 2015. At the age of 60, David Lee Roth with Van Halen was playing his first show on live television in the United States of America at the age of 60. Yep.
Wow.
And he walked away with 14 stitches in his nose.
Wow.
Why?
Holy shit! What happened?
Thank you for asking. I'm glad I'm here.
We know how this works.
Yeah, you guys are good at this. I'm just getting the hang of it, and this is number one or 10. I'm not sure. In 2015, the Hollywood Boulevard was shut down when Van Halen landed on an outdoor stage to rip through a 7-song set for the host of Jimmy Kimmel, right at the very beginning of the Jimmy Kimmel show. Very quickly into the first song, David Lee Roth spilled some blood. Again, I didn't write any of this. This is all cut and pasted. Sure. Beneath the blinking light of the El Capitan Theater marquee, the mighty Van Halen erupted into Panama. I read that well. I rocks to myself.
That was almost like a news. That was a breaking news.
Roth gave a high kick and spun a metal shaft like a propeller blade. He used to do these dances with samurai swords and spin his microphone around.
Holy shit.
And I've seen this on video. It's fun to watch. He's spinning this metal pole at breakneck speeds. Moments later, Dave was bleeding badly from the bridge of his nose. Roth immediately responded to the injury by wiping his hand across his nose and continued to perform without concern. During the next couple of minutes, Roth can be seen unencumbered by the obvious wound, but wiping the blood from his nose repeatedly.
No shit.
During Eddie's guitar solo, he turned to the side of the stage for assistance. It can be seen in the video that the band notices Roth isn't there on his mark at the end of Eddie's guitar solo, but continues to play, which is actually kind of neat because I watched this, you get to see Van Halen just kicking it, freestyle. Just nice. Eddie freestyles, and it's not Alex on bass anymore. It's Eddie Van Halen and Valerie Bertinelli's son Wolfgang Van Halen. Don't know if you knew that. He took Michael Anthony's place, which I love me some Michael Anthony. Those harmonies, they'll never be the same. Most of those harmonies in the early Van Halen records are Michael Anthony singing that weird high part from such a big guy. Anyway, so they don't notice Dave's on his cue. Dave returns with a piece of duct tape over the bridge of his nose. It's gaffer's tape, the tape they put down wires on the floor. He puts gaffer tape on his nose, and he says, "How do I look? Like fucking Hiawatha, right?" Apparently, the medical staff wanted him to stop the show and get in an ambulance and go. Like, it was coming down. He went, "Give me that tape." And he taped it across his nose. And then they went on to perform a 7-song set, including Panama, Running with the Devil, Hot for Teacher, Eruption, You Really Got Me, Dance the Night Away, Unchained, and Ain't Talking About Love.
Damn. He's a goddamn consummate professional. That's what he
The
is.
show
Is that
must
what he
go
did when he
on.
was an EMT? Just get the gaffer's tape.
Well,
It'll be good.
I have one more, which is my favorite.
Honorable
A
mention.
bonus?
Okay.
Yeah, well, again, my
Number negative.
11, number 11, number negative, and this is my favorite. This is the quintessential Van Halen story. You guys familiar with No Brown M&Ms?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yes,
one of the
yes,
writers.
yes.
Yeah. In the 1970s saw the rise of Van Halen. Like every Van Halen was hired to play shows. They provided promoter with the contract writer that outlined specific things the promoter would be responsible for.
Yep.
Standard writers included stuff for lighting, sounds, instructions for the backstage area, security needs, nutritional requirements for the band and crew. These details were critical because basically without the things in the rider, the performance could go badly. And when
Sure.
they would tour with 800 lights, and if they weren't set up correctly, they could fall down. You know, it could become very dangerous. These details, like precision weights for sprinklers, or as trivial as a specific band of toilet paper, or the band's demands for their backstage washrooms, they were all in the rider. Buried amongst the dozens of points in the Van Halen rider was an odd stipulation that no brown M&M candies were to be backstage.
That is awesome.
That was
If-
only. Well, I don't want to steal your
If
thunder. Go
any
ahead.
brown M&Ms were found, the band could cancel the entire concert at the full expense of the promoter.
Wow.
Like they could just bounce. They were out of there. This meant because of a single candy, if one brown M&M was found backstage, the promoter would lose millions of dollars. And everybody who held a ticket didn't get to see Van Halen.
Right. So you've got upset fans and obviously a venue that didn't make as much money as they wanted to
For
make.
decades, this stood as a humiliating act of self-indulgence, a rock band forcing someone to search through candy, removing the last brown and M&M for no apparent reason. Years later, Diamond David Lee Roth, my hero, one of my heroes, him and Martin Luther King,
There you go.
sure, finally divulged the reason for the bizarre clause. An entirely different picture was painted, one that serves several valuable lessons for businesses. In the now departed Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, or the original Boston Gardens, or the Chicago Stadium, Van Halen loading in massive amounts of stadium and sound equipments and lighting. Unfortunately, these buildings, they weren't built to accommodate that kind of rock and roll show. These were places where hockey teams played. You know, without specific guidelines, old floors could buckle, columns, beams could rupture, and a live band or their fans could be at serious risk. To ensure the promoter had read every single word of the contract, the band created the no brown and M&Ms clause. It was a canary in the coal mine that indicated that the promoter had paid attention to
That's awesome.
everything in detail. The more important parts of the rider, that could become a bigger problem. Whenever the band found a brown M&M, immediately they did a complete line check of everything that was on the contract. And if it wasn't perfect, they would trash the place and leave.
What a cool litmus test to give to a venue, though. That's awesome.
Was brilliant. The problem was, and this isn't in my notes, at one point they a new stadium had been built, but it wasn't built for concerts. It was built for basketball, and they came in with the Van Halen stage, which weighed tons. And by the time they hit the stage, it had sunk like 6 inches into the floor, and it cost like $750,000 to fix. The band found out. David Lee Roth trashed the place, and in the interview I saw, he said he did about $800 worth of damage to the room.
Sure,
you know, just flipping over shit.
Yeah.
Maybe broke a TV set or something. But the news said David Lee Roth trash stadium, $700,000 worth of damage.
Oh my God.
But he said in the quote, he said, "Who am I to go against the really good rumor?"
That's a good one. In that case, bad press is good press.
So and he's Dave, you know. So
that clause seems kind of scary though too, because like that word gets out and gets around different venues, different, and so they're like, okay, we got the lights half-ass up, but we're just told just to worry about the M&Ms. Maybe he might want to switch things up, like every venue do something different that's like the brown
I guess.
M&Ms.
Yeah, I guess it also became that thing, and
Just
I
worry
don't know.
about the M&Ms. Fuck everything else.
That
Just do
story
half-ass job.
I got that out of it. I was aware of it, but it was out of a business book.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely a good plan for sure.
There is a twist in this. Aren't I supposed to give you guys a twist?
You are. But before you give yours a twist, though, I ask all of our guests, Tach, before they come over, what their rider is. Most people are like, wow, we don't have a rider. That's silly. I'm not famous enough to have. However, when I sent Peter with Scotch and Good Conversation a rider request, what happened?
Trying to fight over this bone.
When I sent Peter
Where's the other bone?
it's on the
rider request.
It's right down there.
She's stealing my thunder, my joke, Tach.
You guys stole my thunder when I was trying to explain Twist Dem, but it's cool.
She's walking all over. She didn't care about my joke.
I care about your joke. Her earphones just came out unplugged.
Well, the joke was going to be that Andrea had to wear high-side bikini. I didn't understand why, but now I do because of his top 10 list. All right, Andrea, take your clothes off. Take them off. Take your clothes off. Just do it.
Get them
do it
off.
now. Yep, do it.
So one of these is fake?
One of these is fake. It's just a random little bit of information. I don't know why I threw it in there, but I changed something.
So a certain fact.
Man,
that
I'm on
you
my
said-
third. I'm on my third Scotch.
Yummy, lucky.
You want another one?
No, I'm driving home,
You're
dude.
good.
So you've
Blood
had,
tonight.
so you've had like 9 fingers.
9 fingers of Scotch. Yeah, that's right.
I'm just learning about. I've never heard that term before. So nice.
I don't think you're gonna guess.
I don't think I would either.
Can you give us? Can you tell us like what number it was in?
It was number 1. Like it was like the first couple.
Oh, number
lines.
10?
Number 10. Yeah.
What was the title of number 10? Just the title.
It was basically random
facts.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was something about his
He
childhood.
was born in India.
Indiana.
It was close. It was a line after that. I'm just going to tell you.
All right.
I said his dad was a gynecologist.
That's right, gynecologist.
yeah.
I just thought that was funny because he's so horny. His dad was an ophthalmologist.
Still a doctor.
Yeah, see, I thought
a different eye staring
maybe
at you.
there might be some like really diehard Van Halen fans because that's one of those. You think of Dave and you think he's like this surfer dude from California. But he's the son of an ophthalmologist from Indiana. It just seems
That's crazy.
It just seems so strange and weird. So that's it. Random,
No, that's cool.
Random
Awesome,
interesting
great.
facts about.
I learned a lot.
Diamond
I did
David Lee
learn.
Roth.
I learned something recently about Van Halen. I think it was them anyway. One of their albums. I guess they were in a hurry or always on tour or something like that. Pretty sure it was Van Halen. And one of their albums was recorded very quickly, and it sounds like shit. I guess
I
almost to
don't
where
know,
like
yeah.
some of the vocal takes you can hear like mess ups, but they left it in anyway.
There's a couple.
No kidding.
And some of it even peaks, and they were just like,
Really?
Fuck it, yeah. And like you can even hear, I guess, in one song where David Lee Roth comes in a little early. It's
Yeah,
too
there's
soon.
a couple of those.
Yeah,
where
he comes in too early, and they're like, "Bloop," and then he stops, and he comes in at the right time.
If you listen, I see you got a copy of License to Ill up there. There's a couple
Yes.
little random things where somebody comes in and you can hear. I think it's Mike D goes like in
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So I know License to Ill album.
Yeah.
That was my very first tape that I ever received as a child. I got it when I was, I think, 8, I believe. I don't know. I can't remember. But I know every word to that album back to front. Paul Revere has to be my favorite song of all time.
Yep.
It's just an amazing album. And Andrea, was it Andrea? You got me that one, didn't you?
You know it
Yeah.
says "Eat Me" on the cover, right?
Wait, what?
You know it says "Eat
Well,
Me"
it's supposed to look like a big joint too.
Wait,
when you open up the.
Look at the number on the plane.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, it's 3MTA3. Looks like
look at it in reverse.
Eat Me. Oh yeah, that's true.
It says "Eat Me." Yeah. Also, if you flip it over,
If
like
you
on the
open it
other
up-
side, it supposedly looks like a dick going in.
I thought it was like a joint. You're
Well,
putting out.
look at the mountain.
That is a mountain. It does kind of look like a dick going into a.
Yeah. I also wanted to be a Beastie Boy. I think I wanted to be a Beastie Boy more than I wanted to be David Lee
I think
Roth.
Rocky actually said what you called him and his guys was the Beastie Boys of podcasting.
I call them the young snotty boys, the young snotty punk rockers of podcasting. Yeah.
You hear that, Rocky?
Yeah. They're good kids. I love
That's
them.
awesome.
Well, thank you for having me. This
Nah,
has
dude,
been
that was a
fun.
Oh, it was a great list.
It was
I
an
learned
okay
a lot.
list. Yeah, it's like I said, at this advanced age, I do things basically to make myself happy.
That's the best way to do it.
And I, for no apparent reason, started humming a Van Halen song a couple days when you had asked me to be on the show. And the idea was either going to be top 10 David Lee Roth quotes, because I just think he's hilarious in interviews.
Absolutely.
Or I was also going to go the top 10 girls in my life, which I thought might be interesting also.
That would have been a cool list, yeah.
Yeah, but that's also very self-indulgent. I'm sure someone would get mad at me. Yeah. And then it's not that my mom listens to any of these, but I don't, obviously she'd be number 2 and my wife would be number 1, but I don't want one of them to be mad. Or probably the girl I lost to my virginity to would be number 2. My mom would be number 3. My wife would be number 1.
Yeah.
Hey, so all you need is like 7 more, and you got the list.
There's more than 7. I don't mean to brag.
I got you, but you want to do top 10.
There's 8.
Dog is taking a shit over there.
Your podcast is fun.
Damn it!
Well, can we finish the show first?
Yeah. Well,
there's dog
it's gonna
shit in
stink.
here now.
God,
But that's why we hurry.
All right.
Okay.
All right. It's gonna stink for that side of the room for just a few minutes.
So where can our listeners get a hold of you? Where can they check out your show?
Scotch and Good Conversation on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Google Play Radio, scotchandgoodconversation.com. You can email us at scotchandgoodconversation@gmail.com. And I have a phone number, but I don't know it.
I call into it a couple times.
Yeah, you did call. I used your phone call, I think, on either the most recent or one that's coming up.
Yes, I meant to call, and I was trying to listen to episodes to figure out, to hear about it more information on it and stuff, but I never got to. I got busy.
So we have a group chat, and whenever you put up a cool message, a request to call in, to leave a message on your, I try to get all of our cast to call in and say something.
Yeah, it was
just
nice. Thank
something.
you. Yeah,
but I don't know if I think it was just me, Peter.
It's really I try to make it as interactive with people. I get emails from time to time. I get phone calls from time to time. I enjoy the whole one-on-one, just a conversation. Again, it's mostly about me. Like I just enjoy it, and if anybody wants to come along for the ride, it's great. Like I think the people I talk to are some of the most interesting, cool, funny, unusual, important people in Orlando.
I will tell you two interviews of yours that stand out to me. And sorry if the dog shit's starting to make that side of the studio stink.
I'm into it.
Yeah. It's okay.
Tach won't let me stop, Andrea.
It's okay.
But two of the most memorable, I guess, interviews that you've had, obviously, is Damien Sumi, number one.
Yeah.
He is an awesome dude, just a really genuinely nice guy with an amazing skill and amazing talent. And you pulled some cool information out of him, some really personal, behind the scenes kind of shit that you would normally not hear.
He's a good dude. Yeah, he's incredibly talented.
Listeners, for sure, go check out the Damien Sumi interview. But you also did one with a very elusive guest, somebody who's not the easiest person to get on Central Florida podcasts.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Mr. Daniel Dennis.
And I don't mean to brag, but he asked me to come on the podcast.
No shit.
Ooh.
Yes.
I don't mean to boast.
He's supposed to do a Twisted 10 of his own.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, it's fun having him in, or I don't know if you're doing it via Skype or you're having him in the studio.
He's got an invite for both, and he actually said he would prefer to come over here as opposed to do a Skype. But I said, hey, man, whatever your schedule will allow, I'd love to have you, and, I think our listeners all are former Tom and Dan or current Tom and Dan listeners. So, that'd be a cool thing to have them listen to.
They are obviously incredibly good at what they do.
Oh, yeah.
Their show is amazing. It's hilarious. And I even beyond that, it's such a business model.
Absolutely.
Like just what they did is so punk rock.
Yep.
The way they left radio, I mean, it was the most, putting my finger in the middle.
Well, but it went both ways. To them, radio kind of gave them the middle finger too, and said, "You guys aren't going to do shit."
Yeah, I know, but they could have they could have powered through or went to a different station or something like that. But they went on and did on their own. And what they did was they now they sell their show back to that radio
station. Isn't that awesome?
There's nothing more punk rock than that.
How fucking vindicating is that got to be?
Yeah, and the Gentleman's Guide. I love that. I quite frankly, not that I don't love Tom and Dan. Don't get me wrong. I love all the shows. I'm a BDM, but I enjoy Gentleman's Guide because it's a little more like my show. Yeah. And again, it's all about me. It's a little more like my show. It's a little more just kind of sitting and chilling and talking, and not as much of the talking over each other. And you guys have a nice balance of that, where you have 4 people in here, but it's not it's not bang, but just
We try to be considerate.
We've evolved. I mean, this cast has evolved quite a bit.
It comes with time. Like, you really learn how to do things.
When Andrea, here's a good example. When Andrea first started out, she would have something funny to add to the conversation, to the line at hand. And after a while, she figured out when she would try to force that line in, or this is really with any of us, I'm just using Andrea as an example, when she would try to force the line in after the joke was already gone, that it would run more flat. And time has taught her that force it in when it's relevant, and that's the best time to get it in. And that's kind of difficult about, especially a listener trying to understand how talk radio works of any kind, is getting that, that little piece of your mind in at the appropriate time is something that's very difficult to do. Our cast, I'm super proud of this group because they've evolved so much over the last 2 years.
This is nice. It's very comfortable.
Yeah. It's good. That's good to hear.
Like I said, it's weird talking to someone that far away.
Yeah. The distance, yes. Yeah. Well, eventually
and now
we're going to have
new poopery.
I don't smell it yet.
Sorry.
So, no, I don't smell it. It smells wonderful.
I don't smell it anymore.
Yeah.
Our Peter, our 5-year goal is going to include a studio, obviously for recording podcasts, but also maybe a free space for local bands to perform.
That's
and get
really
recorded.
Cool. Yeah,
That's what our goal is down the road. Have it completely paid for by sponsors.
You guys can do it. You're very good at what you do.
Anybody who is unsigned, we want them to come in and have a free space to just play and get their name out there.
It's about art, and it's about making something beautiful. And most people don't realize that there is an art to this.
100% agreed.
There's a little bit to this. Not everybody can do it. It takes a little bit of a set of balls to get up here and spill your soul out.
You got it
to the world, especially when it's. Most of the time, it's for free. It costs, if you're listening, you don't realize it, it costs money to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
It costs you money.
Have you guys started a GoFundMe? Not GoFundMe, Jesus. A Patreon for your site yet?
It's on my list of things to do. Like I said, it's just the Peter show over there. So I don't
understood. We started our Patreon. We haven't really promoted it too much yet.
Yeah.
But eventually we want to get people going to
every time.
We want to get people to go to patreon.com/thetwistedten. There we go.
There it is.
And donate $1. It's just something enough to basically help us keep the electricity going in the studio.
Here's how, and I'm going to cut myself short after this. Here's how I tell people, because I got a donate button on scotchandgoodconversation.com. Ding. I killed it.
Damn, Tach. What are you doing over there?
And here's what I say to people. Most people think nothing of going to stupid Starbucks and paying $4.50 for a cup of coffee. And that's gone. This is an hour of your life that you can choose randomly anytime you want, and it's going to be an hour. And then if you like it, you can go back, and it's something that's going to go back time. You can every week. There's going to be another Twisted 10 coming out. Why wouldn't you give $1 to something that you love, something that's homegrown? Starbucks doesn't need your money.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
I'll make you a cup of coffee. You can come over and have a cup of coffee and listen to our show.
Yeah, give me $4.50. Some people do that every day. So why wouldn't you throw a buck or two at your favorite podcast?
Nice.
Once a month. And it helps. Every little bit thing helps.
Absolutely.
Every single dollar
Thank
helps.
you guys so much for having me. This has been a blast.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. We want to have you over for a full episode of Living Podcariously here soon as well.
Yeah.
So we'd like to get you in with our full cast, and maybe a night we've got a performer or something like that. It's fun.
That'd be great.
We set them up here in the pool table area, and they play for us, and we record them and put them on YouTube and all that fun stuff.
When you do something over at the Village Idiot, I will come out. Is that nice. Damien's place?
Yeah, that's where Damien works. Yeah, we did. So we did our first ever listener event out there for Living Podcariously. I was blown away throughout the course of the night, not at one given time, but throughout the 4-hour event, we had 350 people.
Good for you.
And it was, so you got to understand, some of it was because we hired an awesome band.
Yeah.
Some of it was because we picked our sponsor is a really cool venue anyway.
Yeah.
But we like to say we pulled out a good 150 to 175 people that were our listeners or friends or whatever.
Those are asses in the seats at a place.
We hired the band, so they were still there for our party.
That's right. Damn right.
It's true.
We're going to stick with our 350 number.
What was the name of the band?
That's Hot Pink. Tach is just waiting to hit that bell.
What brand of pants are you wearing?
Broken zipper. No, but so for our listeners, I highly encourage you, go check out Scotch and Good Conversation. You can find it at the same place you're listening to this show. So Facebook, or you can find their fan page over on Facebook, or you can go to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, any of those podcatcher apps.
Yes,
Just
sir.
do a search for Scotch and Good Conversation.
Yes, sir.
It's an amazing show. It's a really, really good interview show with some very eccentric, unique people. It really is. And I like the rapid fire questions because you hear, let's say you like Daniel Dennis and you want to hear Daniel fire back with some answers really quick to some of these questions Peter's got. It's a really good insight into Daniel's mind or any of the guests that he happens to have. So
They're fun questions. I steal
Yeah,
them
they
off
are.
the internet. I don't write them, and sometimes it's very, very deep. Sometimes it's just complete nonsense. Religion, art, poetry, war, pooping your pants, losing your virginity. It's all out there at random times.
Andrea, I'll
awesome.
give you an example. All right, Peter, top 3 books you're reading now. Go.
It's the same one since the beginning of the year. I've got a Questlove, Mo Better Blues.
Nice.
There's also My Bookie Wookie 2 by Russell Brand is on my on my nightstand, and underneath that is the second book my wife gave me besides the Questlove book, the new autobiography from Phil Collins, and I forget the name of it.
Sweet.
Yeah. I read a lot of music books.
I love autobiographies. And speaking of music books, did you read Tommy Land?
I read that.
Yeah, I read that one. That was
I'm
pretty good.
not even a Motley Crue fan. The Dirt is really good, the Motley Crue one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to read a good one, I'm not a fan of Marilyn Manson. The Marilyn Manson autobiography is amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
He wrote it himself. It's wonderful. That guy. Now I'm going off on a tangent here. We're going to go long.
Sorry.
Again, I'm not a fan. I've never owned a Marilyn
Really?
Manson record, but Marilyn Manson at the time was everything rock and roll should be. He was dangerous. He was scary.
Absolutely.
It pissed off the church. It pissed off politicians.
I was going to say government. Yes.
It was ugly to look at, ugly in a beautiful sort of way. You know, that when he did that thing where he was that androgynous,
Right,
Yep.
right.
it was beautiful. It was Bowie. It was Kiss. It was everything good about rock and roll. You know, and it was scary. And his book is amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, if you ever get a chance, that No One Here Gets Out Alive, Danny Sugarman. It's about Jim Morrison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he also wrote another book called Wonderland Avenue. When Morrison died, Danny Sugarman started hanging out with Iggy Pop as the Stooges came up. So this guy's lived a very long,
No
very
shit.
weird life. He just died a couple of years ago. I like music books.
Yeah, it
No,
sounds
that's
like
cool.
it. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm
Those
sorry,
are
I talk a lot.
that's kind of the Spitfire rapid response type questions he's got on his show. It's really fun. It's a really fun show. Hey, by the way, do you like Queen?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I'd like to invite you.
Okay.
We're gonna promote this partially because they're our friends.
Queen?
Well, sort of.
Okay.
But we're also going to promote it because
Queens
it's,
are
I'm
friends?
there.
it's a cool event. It's going to be something really fun to go do at Cocoa Village Playhouse. That's here in Cocoa Village, pretty close to Village Idiot Pub.
I'm sorry. It's funny every time. I want to get you a gong so bad.
Yay!
The gong would be, we hang it right there next to Tack and you just reach right over.
Yeah.
Our favorite band and the band we hired for our first ever listener event for Living Podcariously, Hot Pink.
Uh-huh.
Nice. They're doing a Queen tribute.
That's fun.
So they're doing the full get up and and by the way, they asked our very own Andrea Joy
Yay.
to be on the chorus.
Yay.
So she's going to be part of the
Are
chorus
they
that we'll
doing
be
a
singing.
specific record, like a greatest hits type thing?
It's greatest hits.
Okay, I want to
Yeah.
hear Flash Gordon.
They listen. You hear that, James with Hot Pink or Spencer or any of you guys? If you're hearing this, just
Fat Bottom Girls also.
add
That
that.
would be really fun.
I hope they play Fat Bottom Girls.
Yeah, Tie Your Mother Down. That's another one.
Of
I'm
course.
sorry. No,
Do it. That's in January. So if you don't have any plans, sometime in January, probably a Saturday night. let
Yeah,
us
that'd
know.
be great. Yeah, we'll come out.
We're
That'd
going to
be
get
fun.
probably a good batch of maybe 15 or 20 tickets and go up and see
Send me
them.
the information. We'll pimp it out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you guys. I love you guys.
Yeah, dude, that was a great list. Again, listeners, go check out Scotch and Good Conversation. Peter's an awesome dude. He's fun to hang out with. He brings some fantastic beverages with him into the studio.
I'm better at this. I'm no good at reading things, obviously.
No, you're good. You did a great job. It was a really, really good list. And see, the nerves are gone, right?
Yeah,
The
no,
nerves.
this is great.
All right,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fall asleep here in the chair.
Obviously, Vegas wasn't nervous.
No.
He pissed all over the floors
His
and shit back there.
job.
All right. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at the Twisted 10, or
He's
you can
wrapping us
email
up.
the show. Sorry, man. I'm going to keep you on track. Plus, I got to get to bed.
I like it. Right up. Wrap me up, Tach.
All right.
You don't need to go home so quick now, do you, buddy?
Yeah. If you want to email the show, you can email us at the Twisted twistedten@gmail.com.
There you
Okay,
go.
make sure I didn't mess
Soon
that
to
up.
be show at thetwistedten.com. We own the URL. We haven't switched over and actually set up the email.
It will change. So that
Yeah.
that bullshit email will eventually go away.
If you do enjoy the show, be sure to go to Patreon.
Yes.
Everybody can afford $1 a month. If you want some extra content and some behind the scenes shit, pay a little bit more on Patreon. But if you just like the show, give us $1 because that
Less
really
than
helps
a cup
us.
of coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Less than a coffee, less than a fucking 12-ounce Coke
And better.
can now.
Yep.
Or $1,000.
Or 1,000.
Those are your only choices.
1 or 1,000. No, go to patreon.com/thetwisted10. Check out the rewards that we have set up there. Again, this is homegrown. Yes, we do have sponsors, but guess what? We don't charge very much at all for sponsoring our shows. So any extra money that we get from something like Patreon will go a long ways for us here in studio. We're upgrading equipment. We just got a new mixer. We're going to be getting some additional, techie shit for making the show sound even better. So we aim to please what you're listening to and for you to have a good experience. And if you like it, then hook us up with $1.
If
Sounds
you like
great.
it, then put $1 in it. If you like it, then put $1 in it.
That's not bad. We could work with that. Tack, you want to do a remix? You want to do a parody spoof? He lost interest
Yeah,
in that.
we're working on
I don't
it.
know.
That sounded like that fell for pretty fucking flat.
Yeah,
All right.
our album's not out until next December. So
Andrea, where can
Yeah.
the Twisted 10 listeners go to find you?
I'll be at Brent Allen Salon and Day Spa. Mention
sorry.
There you go.
mention the Twisted 10 and you'll get 10% off your service.
Right.
Nice.
That's off anything, right? So any haircut styles,
Anything.
blow dries.
What happens?
Blowouts.
What happens to your customers at the end?
They leave happy.
Every customer
happy
leaves
ending?
is a happy ending. Yes.
It's a happy
Every
ending.
customer.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Until that blows up and you have some creepy ass listener of ours that comes in and says, "Well, give me a happy ending, damn it. You've told me 100 times to do it."
And 10% off.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we need to plug?
I feel like we're forgetting one, but Podcast Radio Network.
Huh? Yeah.
Listen
us-
to us Tuesday nights on Podcast Radio Network at 8 p.m.
It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. I never remember which one's which.
We need to talk
Tuesday
to
night
John.
on Podcast Radio Network.
Yeah, we're going to get John in for an interview on Living Podcarously too. John runs the Podcast Radio Network, which is just a simulcast place for you to send your MP3s for him to replay. And goddamn, he gets us 20,000 listens a month. He's got a big show going.
Yeah,
It's-
good
It's
for you guys.
It's a really good thing.
You're a monster.
Burn It Down just came on board with them. 1K
Good
Away
kids.
just came on board with
Good
them.
kids.
So we're trying to get our
Yeah.
at least Central Florida really well represented in that group. So
Good. Outstanding.
should reach out to him. Get
You guys-
get Scotch
you
a
guys-
good conversation on there.
You guys are good at what you do. Thank you for
We're
having me.
growing.
Thank
We're
you.
still growing. We still have our growing pains just like every other.
Yeah, you having
podcast out
fun?
there.
Is it fun?
Yeah, hell yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Cool, good.
It's a lot of fun and a lot of work,
I
but
know.
Yeah, it
but
is.
we love it, don't we, Adam?
Yes, we do.
Oh, don't we?
Your
Andrea?
hair getting longer is just fucking with me here. He looks
Yeah, I'm
so-
trying to grow it out.
He looks
looks
like Dennis
stylish.
the Menace.
He looks very what's the word? The French word I'm looking for.
Handsome?
Hands, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very
Dreamy?
etiquette. What's
Je ne sais quoi.
je ne sais quoi?
Well, I am single again.
Oh, that's right. That's why you're okay. All right. Are you dropping weight too? Not that you need to, because you look good now.
No,
but
I've been working on dropping weight.
there you go.
I dropped like 30 something pounds like several months ago, but then I went back up like 5, so now I'm trying to go back.
All right. Well,
So-
very good.
All right.
Sex will
All right.
help you.
On that note,
Well, let's do that, and then maybe we can.
He doesn't have a girlfriend right now. He's trying to have sex. By the way, for more information on that, you'll listen to our last episode of Living Podcarously.
And our next episode of Living Vicariously, there'll
Ta-
be more info out.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe
Yeah.
not the next one, but the next
Ooh.
couple. or
Tack,
so.
Tack really pulled on our heartstrings last episode. He's
I
gone
listened.
through a
I
breakup.
was listening on the way
Listening.
here. Rocky was grilling you a little bit.
Yeah.
Rock will do that. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
So,
you're Dr. Phil. All right.
on behalf of the Twisted 10, I want to thank you for listening. My name is Adam.
I'm Tack.
I'm Andrea Joy.
And to our guests sitting out in here from Scotch and Good Conversation.
Oh, I'm Peter. Hi.
That's right. Thank you so much tonight for your list, Peter. It was a really good list.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's fun. I love you guys.
We appreciate it. All right, go listen to Scotch and Good Conversation. And as far as us, check us out again later this week. It's going to be a double episode release this week. And it's an amazing top 10 list brought to you by the people that actually think the earth is flat. So,
What?
yeah. So that should be interesting. Yes. All right, we don't endorse it, but we're going to bring the comedy value to our listeners. So, all right, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a good week. Peter, again, thank you so much.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.